I mean, it's survivors. What do you expect? Y'all think their opinions matter when they don't. Survivor opinions don't matter in this game. They don't. They get too much benefit for their fucking opinions to matter.
Well, I thought I would start our video with that little tidbit from today's toxic TTV so you knew exactly what we were in for in this video. Today, we're going to be talking about entitlement and about being a man-child, being a grown-ass man who sits and bitches and moans about a video game. Because there are far too many grown-ass adults who do this. It's far too common in the Dead by Daylight community. So today we're going to be talking about one of them. And in terms of the entitlement, I've been getting a lot of comments recently that apparently I'm a very killer-sided commentator on the Dead by Daylight community. Apparently I forgive a lot of things that the killers do in games, but not as much the survivors, and I cover a lot of the survivor entitlement more than the killer entitlement. So today, we're talking about entitlement on both sides. We're talking about somebody who literally is one of the most entitled gamers you'll ever see, whether they are playing killer or whether they are playing survivor. It doesn't matter. It's all up for grabs. And I do also want to point out before we get started, just really quick, that this man is 33 years old. Okay, I just want you to bear that in mind when you're watching some of the tantrums he throws a little bit later on. And with that being said, and without much further ado, let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to watch of this guy's content is a killer game he did. He played as Bubba, and I'm not going to say much else because he'll pretty much cover all of it in the video you're about to watch. But I thought it would be interesting to start with what he's like as a killer, what he does as a killer, and what he says about survivors. Okay, so this is how we're going to get started. I hope you enjoy the video, guys.
Bro, come on. Jesus Christ. It's like the game doesn't want me to have fun. Like, yeah, let's see how fucking annoying we can make this for this one fucking guy. Go to Cowshed.
He hates maps. He will literally bitch and moan about every map in the game. Well, to be fair, actually, he does say this about them.
I don't care what people say. This map is just not fair at all. It's just another big open map that just does nothing for anybody. Need to stop making big open maps. Make small maps. Close quarters. Decent amount of pallets. That's all there needs to be. Don't need all these open areas where the killer can be seen. Like,
and he does like the Gideon meat plant, so at least he's consistent, to be fair.
I was literally standing in the way, but okay.
The game kind of starts with him trying to secure a couple of chases, and he basically doesn't really get these chases done. He plays, to be fair, quite well in his game as a killer. He uses Trail of Torment to kick a gen to try and get himself undetectable, drops chase with this Dwight, which you can see him chasing now, and tries to pressure the Kate using that undetectable status. So, like, he's not a bad killer necessarily, but he does complain a shit ton. And as you can see here, he does eventually manage to down the Jake. As one gen pops, as two gens pop, and he manages to hook the Jake, and by the time he's done all of that, a third gen will also pop. At which point he decides...
I don't care about this match anymore. This map is fucking dog shit.
He just face camps. Which is fair. I've got nothing against face camping. Absolutely nothing. I've said in the past that I don't mind face camping. But just bear it in mind.
Die faster already, Jesus.
So Leon comes over, trying to get the save. He downs the Leon, goes straight back to the hook to continue face camping. Again, you're pressuring the hook, you're securing that kill. Absolutely fine. But bear it in mind. And now you can see that the two other players, the Dwight and the Kate, come and try and pressure the hook to try and get the save. He manages to keep them pretty busy, to be fair. And then he does get the Kate down. And unfortunately, the Jake dies, and he gets the Dwight down too. But Leon is now up. And I'm not going to show you the rest of the match, but basically as it goes on, the survivors manage to counter him, and they get a 3-man escape with one person down, which was the guy you just saw killed. But what I do want to show you is, one, the reason he gives as to why he's face camped, because honestly, I think it's quite interesting. And two, what happens when the Kate is unhooked, okay? So here we go.
Just Bubba things? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's on this map too, so... I don't care what anybody says. This map is so bad for killer.
So the Kate gets unhooked. He immediately goes back to the hook to pressure it, which is absolutely fine. There's two survivors who are basically going to be over there. And he finds the Kate. And he tunnels the Kate. Thankfully, Kate's off the record saves her there, and she manages to actually get to the end game, and escape. Now, I don't have a problem with tunneling. You know, if you need to tunnel to get some pressure in the game, or if that's just the survivor you come across, absolutely fair. But again, I want you to keep it in mind. I want you to keep in mind the fact that this guy is slugged, face camped, and tunneled in this game. And then the last thing I want to show you from this game is the ending itself, how the survivors leave and what happens in the end game chat.
Yeah, you're not that good, dude. You know how these cocky these survivors are? Like, you're not that good at the game. Like, you got a good fucking map. Congrats.
They also counter the face camping Bubba.
These entitled survivors.
It doesn't make him entitled. So he goes into the chat. I don't know why you're clicking. You didn't play well at all. Entitled survives XD. Now, I think you spelt it wrong, my guy. It's actually GG well played. Or even GGWP. You know, you can even take it down to just 4 letters. You kind of spelt it a little bit wrong there with what you put, but you'll get it. Don't worry, you'll get it. The Jake, the person who died, the person who was face camped, says you face camped first hook and then put something which is blocked with hashtags. And our TTV says the game was over before it started. By whose decree? Your decree? Because you didn't like the map? This guy essentially blames his whole gameplay on the fact that he loaded into Coldwind. He blames the map for his face camping, slugging, and tunneling, essentially. Well, mainly his face camping. He doesn't really talk about the slugging and tunneling, but I'm going to talk about it. I'm sorry, did the Coldwind map tie your hands and force you to face camp? No. So you got to take some responsibility in this scenario here. If you face camped, own the fact you face camped. There's nothing necessarily wrong with face camping. But you've also got to be prepared, if you face camp, to receive BMing from the survivors. Okay, you had these 2 survivors at the end who were clicking and teabagging. As they rightly should, in my opinion. You face camped and they beat you as a face camper. Only 1 person died. It's something I've talked about in previous videos. You know, if you're going to be the type of person to do this kind of thing in a game, like camp and tunnel and nod your head as killer and all that kind of stuff, you got to be prepared to take the bagging, the clicking, the stuff that you would consider toxic from survivors. When it's not actually toxic, it's just BMing and trash talking the game, essentially.
Fucking entitled survivors, man. At their finest.
Why are they entitled?
All those adrenalines, though. Yikes. What a crutch perk that is.
Is it? Is adrenaline a crutch perk? I wouldn't necessarily call adrenaline a crutch perk. I think I would argue on that one, but that's a side note. Why are they entitled? Because they clicked and bagged? That doesn't make them entitled. Like, I think you've completely got a misconstrue of the word entitlement. So let me actually help you out with that. Entitlement has 3 definitions. The first one is the fact of having a right to something. The second one is the amount to which a person has a right. And the third one is the belief that one is inherently deserving of privileges or special treatment. Now, I don't think clicking or bagging at the exit gate is in any way linked to any of those definitions. However, I will say that thinking a map is specifically designed to ruin your fun and that you are deserving or you should get a better map as killer, or thinking that you are allowed to face camp because you got a certain map, I would say that's closer to entitlement. And there's only 1 person in that trial who displayed such behavior. I'll give you 4 guesses as to who it was.
What I miss? You know, entitled survivors. Want to click the killer at the end because I was face camping somebody, even though there was 2 gens left and it's on Cowshed, which is an unbalanced map in the game.
If that was your reason for face camping, because you wanted pressure on the game, because you wanted to snowball something into a win for you, fair enough. You face camped because you didn't like the map, though. So, 1, you're lying, and 2, yeah, the survivors are going to click if you face camp. That's something you should expect, and to be honest, you can't get mad about because you started it. You did it. You were the one who face camped to begin with, and then they clicked as a result. So, you can't get mad about that. Alright, so we've seen some killer gameplay from him, and we have seen that as killer, he has no problem face camping, slugging, or tunneling if he dictates that the situation calls for it. Now, in terms of his logic behind the dictation, I don't really care. All I want to focus on, and I want you guys to remember, is the fact that he camped, slugged, and tunneled. So now let's move over to some of his survivor gameplay, and we're going to start with a match that he had against a huntress. Now, this was actually in the same stream as the one he did his killer game in, but it was actually a couple of hours earlier. Okay, so this actually happened before his Bobber game. And I'm not going to show you the entire match because honestly we don't need to. It's quite a quick match anyway, but what I do want to show you is what happens when his teammates go down and what he says about it. So let's take a look. Okay, so this is the first instance of a teammate going down. As you can see over there, the Claudette has been knocked, and the Huntress picks her up pretty much straight away. Leaves her on the floor for, I think, like 5 to 10 seconds, if that. Probably checking her area. but then picks up. The second down is on the Bill, and I think the Bill gets grabbed off something, and so he's straight onto a hook. Like, there you go. At which point, Claudette's gotten saved. He comes and saves the Bill. The Huntress takes down the Feng, and takes down the Bill within like 5 seconds of each other. She then picks the Bill straight up, and then immediately picks up the Feng. Bill gets unhooked, Feng gets hooked. Now Claudette goes down, Bill goes down. At which point Bill is picked straight up, and Bill is hooked and killed. At this point, our TTV goes to presumably either set up for a flashlight save or try and pick the Claudette up. And the Huntress turns around, sees him, so comes to put pressure on the TTV. Absolutely fine.
Oh yeah, you definitely know everything, huh? Sure you do.
Nice shot.
Hey, Sweat Lord Huntress. Woohoo!
Because she can hit her hatchet, she's a Sweat Lord. Now in the background there, Claudette was left on the floor in the pallet and was picked up by the Feng. Now a little bit later, the Claudette then goes down again and is immediately picked up and hooked.
MMR is a thing in this game, chat. It is.
At this point, he starts bitching about MMR. You'll see more of that in a little bit. But towards the end of the game, the Feng gets grabbed off a generator, as you can see there, and hooked straight away, which left him as the last one alive. He gets the save, goes down.
Even slugging for the 4K. Pretty cringe.
Even slugging for the 4K. I'm sorry, just 1 second. Would we class that as slugging for the 4K? Is it slugging for the 4K if the Huntress sees the fourth player running off and knows that they could catch up to them quite easily? Was she meant to literally down you and then immediately pick you up as if like you were a hot potato about to explode and she needed to get you on the hook as quickly as possible? Is that what she was meant to do? Because in my eyes, this is not slugging for the 4K. This is just knowing where the fourth person is and going for them. Do we count this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. So the Huntress walks away with a 4K, and I wanted to show you all those little bits so specifically because of what he's about to say in the endgame chat. Let's take a look. So he starts out by saying MMR doesn't exist. He gets really caught up on the MMR factor, and I have no idea why. The killer says, okay. He says Sweatfest. MMR does not dictate how sweaty somebody is. MMR is about your skill level. So if you're trying to say that sweaty equals higher skill, then I guess fair? I think it's a weird one. He's saying that they shouldn't be at the same MMR because the Huntress was better than him. Kind of feels like a weird backhanded compliment to me, but pop off.
Teammates suck? Yeah, they kind of did. Not gonna lie.
He then blames it on his teammates as well. And here is the part which I wanted to talk about. The killer says, I didn't play sweaty at all. Your team just played very poorly. Which is true. The survivors kind of dive-bunged the hooks repeatedly until they all went down. He says, I mean, all you did was slug my guy. Now, you have seen the footage, okay? I will admit that maybe the Huntress slugged once. Slugged one time, and that was when they went to hook the Bill, who was on death hook. They left the Claudette in the pallet, and then when they went to pick up the Claudette, they saw this TTV knocking around looking for the little beamer save, so decided to chase him. Did the Huntress slug there? Yeah. But was it for any other reason other than tactical? Did it actually make sense? Yeah, it absolutely did. Like, why would she pick up? She's in a pallet and she sees someone with a beamer stood in front of her. She's obviously not going to pick up. She's going to go and chase you away and even try and get you down to put even more pressure on the team, which she did. That was the only time she slugged. Oh, and apart from at the end, because she didn't literally drop to her knees to pick him up as soon as he went down after unhooking the Feng as well. But he says, all you did was slug. But you know what? Let's play devil's advocate. Let's play devil's advocate a little bit. And let's say, yeah, the Huntress slugged. My guy. Should we rewind the video a little bit? That's you. Slugging. You didn't seem to have a problem with it then.
Who cares? Yeah, right?
You do, obviously.
Fucking sweating for no reason. Ugh. Slugging makes this game so fucking annoying. Slugging ruins this game, sadly. People just try too hard. It just makes the game unfun to me.
Does slugging make the game unfun, does it? Ah. Interesting you say that because, I don't even need to say anything, do I? We get it. We get it. Okay, moving on.
That's why Unbreakable needs to be base kit at this point, I think. That's the next perk that needs to be installed in Survivors. So they can't get slugged all the fucking time?
Well, I can say that I do agree with one thing you said so far in the video, based on that little comment that you make, and that's this.
Survivor opinions don't matter in this game. They don't.
Kind of applies to you as well, doesn't it, bud? So we've seen one double standard from this man in the form of slugging. But wait, there's more. We are going to now look at a second game that he had. This was actually on a different day because, as you know, I always research these TTVs and make sure I get a wide spread. And this little one that we are going to have a look at occurred in Backwater Swamp against a Wesker. Let's take a look. So, the Meg goes down, and our TTV kind of hangs around the area, ready to get the save. Doesn't try and go for a flashlight or anything like that, but to be fair, the Wesker was looking at the wall. So he hangs around to get the save. And as you can see there in the corner, Wesker kind of runs off, and then kind of starts to loop back.
Why are you here? Why would you even... Why would you turn around for no fucking reason? Such a fucking loser. He goes all the way over here, takes 10 steps, turns around, like... God, you're such a fucking loser. I hate people who play like that. Go look for somebody.
What? So the Wesker kind of runs off and then kind of turns around. And because this guy literally didn't even wait until the terror radius had disappeared before bolting his ass to go and get the save, Wesker's like, oh, look at that. There's a survivor over there. What am I going to do? Am I going to just look at them and wave to them as they go and get that save? No, I'm probably going to pressure them, aren't I? So he comes back to attack him and does so. He doesn't even go back to the hook as much as this guy's saying he did. He attacks him directly. And he goes on a tantrum. He calls him a loser. He says, oh, I go over here and I come back. And he does this whole thing. Then he says, I hate people who play this way. Let me ask you, play like what? What did this Wesker do? Are you trying to insinuate that this is camping or tunneling? Let's watch more.
Annoying ass cunt. Fucking this on him. Watch you come right back.
An annoying ass cunt. Didn't do anything, bud.
He goes, this is what he does, chat. He hooks somebody right here, right? He goes all the way down here, and then he does this. Oh, gotta go back to hook.
It amazes me, my guy, that situation happened not 30 seconds before, and yet your memory has already changed, because that is not what happened. But again, let's play devil advocate, shall we? Now let's say this Wesker did camp. I know someone else who camps. That's you. Face camping. So again, let's play devil's advocate and say that this Wesker did camp. You hate people who play like that?
The bot. Actual bots in DBD. Trash at this game. People who play stupid like that shouldn't play killer.
Do you think so, dear? Okay. Because I could show the clip again. Do you want me to show the clip again? Nah, we'll just move on. I think we've made our point. We'll move on.
Actual bots installed to the game.
Calls people bots so much. It's such a crap insult to me. It's such like a 12-year-old insult. Hey, you're a bot.
So now I'm getting tired. With this much, go fuck yourself.
Oh no, he goes on this like rant in a second, which I'm going to show you. But let's let's go back a second. He says just before he gets interrupted, so now I'm being tunneled. No, you were not being tunneled. You went to a gen and the Wesker was chasing somebody else. As you can see here from the fact that somebody else had lost a health state, which I'm going to show just for historical purposes. You were not getting tunneled, my guy. You were just found and you didn't let the Meg heal you. So as an injured person, you ran out into the open, left with scratch marks everywhere. Stayed in one spot where you got the chest. But he didn't tunnel, okay? He went after someone else and then found you. That's not tunneling, bud. That's just not tunneling. But again, for the third and final time, let's play devil's advocate, shall we? Now let's say the Wesker did tunnel. I remember someone else tunneling while he was playing as Bobber against the Kate. Who was that? Who was that again? I can't remember who it was. Leave it with me, guys. I'll get back to you about it. But I'm pretty sure there was somebody we've watched in this video who tunneled as a Bobber. Do you guys? We'll move on, but you know, I'll come back to it. Now, because he goes on like a massive rant about this, I'm just going to show you a quick montage of all the things he says. Here we go.
So sick and tired of these fucking players in the game. Actual fucking bots. Fucking trash bin. Actual garbage ass players in this game. Actual fucking garbage.
I just want to point out, by the way, no one's saying anything to him in his chat. He's just molding.
Tired of it, dude. People need to be penalized for playing like that.
Do they?
How about this for a change? You have to go. You can't attack anybody for 20 fucking seconds after hooking somebody. How about that?
Again, just want to come back to this quote of yours.
Survivor opinions don't matter in this game. They don't.
Because honestly, that's the thing that has made the most sense out of anything you've said so far, Kai. Like, you were onto something with that one.
You just can't fucking play fair. He turns around for no fucking reason. People like this are the ones who deserve to be bullied in the game.
No one deserves to be bullied in the game. No one deserves to be bullied, full stop. And this is just you throwing a little tantrum. Remember earlier when I called him a man-child? You can probably see why by now.
4K? He didn't kill me. IDC doesn't count. Doesn't count. IDC doesn't matter. If you don't kill me, doesn't count.
Oh my god.
You're not gonna play fair? I'm not gonna fucking let you kill me.
That's probably the most pathetic thing I've heard somebody say on this game in a while. IDC'd so you didn't kill me? No. If you don't play fair, you don't get to kill me. No. Fucking grow up. Jesus Christ, you are 33 years old and this is how you're behaving over a video game. Like, how do you not hear yourself when you speak and how much of a child you sound? You literally sound like a kid in nursery when somebody doesn't play fair with them so they won't share their toys. And they go, no, he was mean to me, he pushed me, so he's not getting to play with my tractor. That's how you sound right now. Like, just take the L. It's a game. You'll be okay. I promise. And of course, there he is, straight into endgame chat. What a bot. Again, with this bot thing. Oh, dear. The killer just puts GG. He says, I'm glad you wasted your purple add-ons. He says, lol, GG, yeah, right. Maybe stop playing like a bot and play fair. It's so cringy. Like, I don't know. I thought...
They're annoying in this game. Actually fucking annoying. Alright, I'm gonna go play Fortnite then. I'm done. Since people don't want to play fair, might as well play something else.
Yeah, Fortnite, because there are no bots in Fortnite. And he does then go and play Fortnite, which, you know what? Respect where it's due. At least he knew to take a step away from the game when he started to get a little bit too angry. Now, to kind of round up our closing thoughts, I want to start with this quote, which he says just before he starts playing Fortnite.
People just cannot play fair in DBD anymore. Really can't.
People cannot play fair on DBD anymore. So there's a couple of points which I want to mention in this. First of all, who are you to dictate what fair is? And this is where the entitlement aspect comes in, because what is fair in Dead by Daylight? And who are you to be the one to dictate what fair is? Fair to you seems to be, let me win. If you do anything that makes my job as a killer or a survivor harder, you are not playing fair, you are playing sweaty. And second of all, who are you to sit there and bitch and moan about these killers for the way they play when we have literal footage of you camping, tunneling, and slugging, and you will throw the biggest tantrums over the fact that somebody would do the same thing to you. And literal tantrums. A grown-ass man was sat there calling somebody a bot, quitting the game and going over to Fortnite because they turned around after leaving a hook. This guy literally has the idea that he can do anything he wants, but as soon as the opposing side does something which makes his job harder, or even if the RNG of the game in the choice of maps or the choice of palettes gets in the way of him being able to do exactly what he wants, he's going to throw the biggest tantrum, the biggest hissy fit, and blame everybody else for the fact that he lost. Now, in the footage that I watched of this guy, he cannot take a loss. He just can't. He has to blame it on something else. Either his teammates were bad, or the map was bad, or the survivors he were up against was sweaty, or the killer was sweaty. Literally every reason under the sun, he has given it as to why he has lost the game. And what's like really sad to me about watching this guy is there are so many others like him out there. And not a lot of them are Twitch streamers. This guy is hopefully one of the few Twitch streamers who behaves like this, but you get it all the time in endgame chats. People who'd be like, oh, you should have done this and you should have done that. And there is this constant barrage from one side to the other about how they should be playing. And you know what, to be honest, it's never even accurate, is it? It's always just based on the idea that how you actually played in a game has made it harder for the opposition to do their job. which is how it's supposed to be, by the way. That's how the game works. I say that phrase a lot. It's kind of become a catchphrase of mine, how the game works. That's how the game works. And coming back to this TTV, one thing I didn't mention towards the start is that this guy has over 11,500 followers. He has a huge following. Per video, he gets on average just under 1,000 views. This is a lot of people who are seeing the way that this guy is behaving, seeing that he has a massive following to go along with that, and are probably going to replicate his behavior. I talk a lot about the responsibility of a streamer and setting a good example. And my guy, you are a grown-ass man throwing tantrums and showing the highest level of entitlement over a video game in front of thousands of people. Maybe reconsider how you approach your streaming and maybe try and set a better example. If you lose a game, you lose a game. It's okay. Just move on to the next one. You'll be fine. Because right now, this is not a good example that you're setting. This is really kind of pathetic in a way, if I'm being honest, but also it's just a bad example. People are going to watch you and replicate this behavior. And you have the power here to not allow that to happen in many ways. Just a thought. But that is going to do it for this episode. What did you think of this TTV that we featured today? What do you think of his entitlement? What do you think of my thoughts? As always, I'm really excited to hear what you guys think in the comments. So please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And I'm happy to start a discussion in any way. And if you did enjoy a video, of course, please do leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already for more content just like this. I upload at least 2 times a week, if not more. And yeah, thank you for watching the video. Thank you for supporting my channel as always. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day with whatever you're doing. Go out there and be the best damn Chronics that you can be. Spread some positivity. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.
So let me break it all down for you. I ain't never giving up, I ain't never giving up. I'm taking that crown from you.